Never in the history of the world have the merchants of obscenity had available to them the modern facilities for disseminating this filth. Disseminating this filth. The onslaught of the communist masters of deceit.
Bingo. Common. Sluts. Bingo. Common. Sluts. Bingo. Common. Sluts. Bingo. Common. Sluts.
Hey, Marlowe. All right.
How's it going?
You know, another week, another just me watching comedians yell at each other on the internet.
Yeah, cool. I've been listening to a lot of Hall & Oates lately.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I watched a show called Teenage Bounty Hunters.
Ooh.
And Kadeem Hardison is in it. Of course, he was Dwayne Wayne.
Yeah, I don't
Different
know.
World.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do know Different World.
Yeah, is Steve here?
I'm here.
Hey, Steve's here. Oh,
Hey.
Welcome to Finko Comedy Sluts. We're all here. I was just saying, I watched a new show called Teenage Bounty Hunters, and I did quite like it. Did you guys know that the United States is one of only 2 countries that have bounty hunters?
I did know that.
Yeah.
What's the other country?
The Philippines.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because our bail's so large. So you need to use bail bondsmen, and bail bondsmen need bounty hunters.
Yeah, those bounty hunters need rubber bullets.
Yeah.
And
is it a reality show? Is it a drama?
Oh yeah, no, it's not a reality show. It's like comedic.
Okay.
It's about teenage bounty hunters set in the South, in Georgia, in Atlanta, but in a very rich, conservative Christian community. These twin teenagers, they become bounty hunters. And I don't know. It was fun. Is
it a Cuties crossover?
No. Oh, God. What a horrific thing that story is. Of course, Steve is referring to the Senegalese-French film that was weirdly marketed as basically like pay to bait on Netflix.
Yeah, apparently, like, the movie itself was actually quite good, but
it's not. Yeah. It's about growing up black in France, and it's sort of critical of sexualizing young girls. In fact, from what I've read, I did not see
which,
it.
For France, that's like a fundamental part of their culture. So, yeah, radical movie. But, yeah. Well, we have to talk about that stupid fucking Vaush video, because if I wasn't watching that 20 minutes ago, I would have been playing Fall Guys. So...
Well, boo-hoo. Wow. Look at you sacrificing 20 minutes out of your life for researching the stupid response that we're going to do, because everything's fucking stupid.
I watched...
Will you explain what you're talking about?
I don't wanna. I hate it.
Okay, fine. He hates it. You don't wanna. It's I don't know, that dude, Vaush. What is it? How you?
I don't know or care. All I know is he pronounces international like a fucking asshole.
He does.
He was like, I read a bunch of theory last night, and I can tell you for a fact, Marx would have been all in for Biden.
Marx, Lenin, and Engels.
Yes.
I think a little more context. He's part of BreadTube, which is a YouTube conglomerate of streamers, mostly on Twitch, but then they transfer to YouTube, and they
I guess
do leftist. Yeah, Hassan
vaguely in that sphere. I mean, Cuck wouldn't be just because he doesn't stream and also is smart. Raj Shiva is also not really in that sphere and constantly makes fun of it, but is a good YouTube channel I recommend.
Bad Empanadas also did a response to this video.
Which was fine.
Yeah, it was a fine response.
Man, how did I watch a 55-minute video and a 20-minute response in 20 minutes? The secret is I didn't.
See, what I did to prepare for this was I read 20 pages of State and Revolution today, and then decided to endorse Biden. I'm recanting last week's statements that I made about endorsing third party and sticking up all my middle fingers at the Democratic Party. I'm recanting that, taking it back. I watched the Vaush video, read State and Revolution, and was like, this kid is onto something.
Yeah, I'm going full in a popish plot this week with Biden. Biden is a popish plot. He will take orders from the Pope and drink the blood of Protestant babies. That's my. I think
that's for the later part of this episode. Yeah. I mean, first we have to debunk Vaush, who is arguing, as Bunny said, that Marxists, Leninists, and all the people that he claims tell him to read theory in order to get things right. After he read some theory, he's like, no, actually, they all do say Biden is the best candidate, and then lays out in ridiculously painful and embarrassing detail.
So here's the first issue. For the first 15 minutes, he was making a very dishonest argument that I knew to be dishonest because I actually knew what he was talking about literally participating in elections, not participating in bourgeois parties. And then at the 15-minute mark, he said, now that all only applies to participating in elections, not necessarily supporting bourgeois parties. So I'm like, well, why the fuck did you say all that then? Like, I would have skipped this had I known that you were...
I think it's responding to quote-unquote tankies who are abstaining or threatening to abstain from voting.
Which, I mean, that's perfectly... none of that actually responded to that, because all of those instances presumed a viable working class party to vote for. You know, he quotes Trotsky, and he's like, which also just his whole attitude that this is a position held by certain internet Stalinists and no one else on the left is somewhat fascinating. But but he quotes Trotsky, who literally used the term the Communist Party in that quote. And Trotsky was discussing that the Communist Party participated in elections. He quotes Lenin, he quotes Marx, he quotes Engels, who all were noteworthy and separated themselves from the anarchists, particularly Marx and Engels, in the First International, because I'm from America and that's how I fucking pronounce it.
Shade. We're going to clip that and we're going to send it to him on... You should send it to him over Twitter.
But
I'll send it to him.
They separated themselves in large part by stating that, yes, the working class should participate in electoral politics. And that's very uncontroversial for Marxists. He also starts out discussing that the choice to vote is not one of principle but tactics, which again would not be shocking to any Marxist. And
it's weird that he read all that theory the night before.
My favorite thing is he starts out with this, it's a matter of tactics, not principle. Then he states later that a moral person must still vote for Biden, which is a question of principle, not tactics, because that's what morality is. But there's one line of argument in particular that I really wanted to get into. So,
all right, do it.
Okay, so because it's a line of argument that he in fact could have gotten. He got it secondhand from Lenin through Pankhurst, but he could have actually gotten it directly from Rosa Luxemburg in Reform and Revolution, in which. One of the reasons to participate in elections is to put a reformist project forward and have that project ultimately fail to show the uselessness of reformist projects. The issue with that is the Democrats have been in power before. They were in power 8 years ago. Well, they were in power 4 years ago for 8 years. And then they failed and led to Trump in the first place. And they were not putting a reformist project on the table. The Democrats, right now, the argument that he's ultimately agreeing with in many ways, the argument that they're putting on the table is that the project is to defeat Trump in and of itself. That is absolutely how they're justifying Biden. That's how he's more or less justifying Biden this whole time. And if they defeat Trump, they will have succeeded. That's
all
that's
done.
What they said they wanted to do. And if they do that, that will be a success. They're not promising to put any reforms for working class empowerment forward. They're doing quite the opposite. They're not. That's not their measure of success or failure. And you could actually make the argument, well, they're saying that people's lives will improve under Biden versus Trump. And in fact, he's actually arguing that, yes, people's lives will improve under Biden over Trump, and that's why you should vote for Biden. But in that case, they will have again succeeded, because that's the bare minimum level that they're promising.
No, Marlowe, don't you know there are axes just on ropes, tied just so, that will only be taken down and not kill people if we defeat Donald Trump. That is that is how people talk about it, right? Like as if there are people right now being held at gunpoint, that the person with the gun will put it down.
Well,
I mean, even if that's the case, like even assuming,
and it is the case, there are pedophiles who are under arrest right now.
Yeah, even let's assume that some people's lives might moderately improve under Biden, then how does that display the failure of the Democratic project? Like, if the Democrats are saying some people's lives will moderately improve under Biden, and then that happens, that's not a failure. They're not going to give the working class power. They're not saying they will.
I think you are underestimating the Democrats' ability to make a promise like that and then still fuck it up. They set themselves up for success at bare minimum, and then they'll find a way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm skeptical of how much anyone's lives will improve under Biden. I guess, yeah, sure, a bit here and there. He sort of took that as a trivially self-evident point that would happen.
He is making the lesser of two evils argument throughout the whole thing.
He is, and then he's backing away from it, and then he does again, and then he backs off it again. Now, I mean, okay, so with I'll call it the Reformer Revolution argument, just because Rosa did use it in that book, with the display the failure of reformism, that in fact was actually one of the principal reasons I supported Sanders. That actually was it. I believed that, frankly, most of Sanders' promised reforms would fail, and their failure would serve as radicalization of, we can't even get it with Sanders. It was actually one of the things I thought would happen that I used to justify my support of Sanders, because he was at least verbally putting forward a reformist project.
But psychically putting forth, of course, an Antifa super soldier project.
and like the reformist, moderately social democratic ovations, even like gestures, to be what, like, and he quotes Lenin and he misquotes Lenin, or non-contextualizes Lenin in because they're always talking about a workers' party. And he always just seems to assume that Democratic Party is the Workers' Party, which is not the case, and he even admits that throughout the video.
Yeah, and then he also will get into Lenin's occasional appeals to coalitions with liberals, which again assumes the existence of a Workers' Party.
Well, this gets me to one of my points that it also is he says Lenin wants to align with the bourgeoisie against the aristocrat or the aristocracy. Kings. In order to defeat feudalism, the workers need to align with the bourgeoisie to overthrow the aristocracy.
Right.
But that's not the same as aligning with the bourgeoisie to continue the bourgeoisie. He's advocating for
it's kind of glossing over a pretty basic tenet of historical materialism that, yes, like Marx has, some would argue, a very teleological idea of history, that things start from one end and progress through steps until they reach another end. And of those steps, one of them was the transition from feudalism to capitalism, which must precede the transition from capitalism to socialism. And in that sense, yes, moving history forward does mean the supremacy of the bourgeois. That's why I gleefully celebrate Robespierre. But that's not one segment of the bourgeois class against another segment of the bourgeois class. The aristocratic class is a wholly different class than the bourgeoisie and represent a wholly different system than capitalism.
What did you think, Bunny?
Well, I, of course, focused on the more superficial elements.
Is that because you're a woman?
It's exactly because I'm a woman. It's also, I don't know. It's because I'm from Baltimore. Somehow, Vaush is very.
Greeks can't read.
Yeah, Greeks can't read. Our letters are different.
The Greek eats lamb because the lamb is the one animal the Greek can outsmart.
Lambs are very smart.
I saw that from Felix, so
Yeah. Though Vaush is very pedantic, but he speaks in a way that I can tell the people who follow him perceive as being indicative of him being very smart.
Yeah, I think that also transitions to a very broad problem with this project, which is, when you accept the idea that Lenin is talking about tactics and, tactics over principle, and Lenin is operating in a series of fast-moving from the 1905 revolution to the 1917 revolution to the Civil War, A, B, and C. The project of trying to derive some principle that would guide us in 2020 is sort of dubious on its face.
Well, especially because, hello, I'm right here. Let's light some candles. Let's do us a communist seance.
Yeah, sure.
Which I think that would be, that's what you do to cram a lot of theory. You speed read it right before you get high and call upon the spirits of Marx, Lenin, Engels, Hegel. Let's call everyone in. Let's call Mao in. Let's call in
the Chavistas. Let's call in Castro.
We'll leave Rosa alone. She can get a singular seance dedicated just to her. What I love about the idea of doing a seance with these spirits is how pissed they would be if it worked.
Yeah. Lenin would be, oh my God, I'm actually in hell. They were right.
GIF of the Simpsons episode.
Mm-hmm.
But what other superficial elements did he exude other than his gravitas?
I can't get over the Jordan Peterson-ness of saying, "Oh, everyone rags on me for not reading theory. I read it all last night." Also, just the way he's not curious about whether it matches up or whatever. He's already certain and just completely unaware of his own confirmation bias, and I'm sure he's the type to talk a lot about logic.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I'm not sure if that's like inductive reasoning or deductive reasoning, but also I don't know what those words actually mean. But I feel like I'd be able to say what he's doing with a 101 logic class. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly... proving his conclusions.
Well, and simply saying things like, and yes, it's been 150 years since this is written and a lot of things changed, doesn't actually mean you are taking into account how it might be inappropriate to apply certain things to a modern context, There's a lot of that on the internet where if somebody just states the thing, they act as if they've really addressed it.
Yeah.
It's fun, I don't know. But I just think the witches who hex the moon, they should really be the ones to do a seance for Marx,
And see what he would have to say about
Yeah, but
Biden?
then what would happen is John McCain's ghost would fucking cut in.
And he'd go, I'm in hell.
I'm in hell and I can't stop. He is supposedly reaching out. His spirit is reaching out to psychics and wanting them to tell Megan to run for governor of Arizona, which I quite like the idea of having the entire astral planes available to you as a spirit, but being like, no, hey, you, tell my daughter, run for governor. That's my John McCain impression.
So what do you think? Do you think Marx would have advocated for Joe Biden, like he said?
Hey, I think the more interesting question is how frightening would Marx have actually found Donald Trump. You know, because the whole entire premise from which this is coming from is that Donald Trump is such a unspeakable evil that we have never faced before, that it warrants any and all justifications to make people vote for Biden. But when I really think it serves the purpose of just the edification of people who are already going to vote that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, I remember 2004.
Yeah, I keep going back to 2004.
Hey, Matt.
This election
cut in,
season.
Ruben stuttered, I'm sorry for 2004.
Girl, this is my sorry for 2004. And I ain't gonna mess them no more this year. I'ma take this one chance and make it real clear. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, sorry, in case I don't tell you. Tell you December, I'm sorry. 2004.
Like the vote or die. It's got big vote or die vibes.
I don't know how anyone could hear them with a straight and take them at face value when they've been doing nothing but rehabilitating George W. Bush. After making this exact same argument about George W. Bush, I don't understand how that's at all believable. But yeah, whatever. I mean, the other big issue is...
But it's because it's all very much that passion play about the majority of liberals' self-image than it is about anything else. That's why you have these, wealthy, famous liberals tweeting lists of things, quote unquote, the Democrats have done, and saying the Democrats are for the people, as if just saying that is a compelling thing, and someone who is I'm not going to vote.
They aligned with the Klan to give women the right to vote in order to offset Irish immigrants.
Well, it's just as if any singular non-voter is out there going, wait, what? The Democrats got that passed? Whoa, I can't wait to vote for Biden. It's just, where does this imaginary world they are speaking to? It's
literally tonight. The Democrats passed a bill for the USPS and neglected to pass a bill for unemployment stimulus because they said that it would fuck up their chances to push a bigger agenda. And it's how do you do one and not the other and then complain about your inability to pass a larger agenda?
Well, and why are the Democrats the only ones who are ever coming at it from, whoa, we don't want to ask for too much, because then we won't be able to do the other thing, this weird energy of we can't upset this beast that we're dealing with, and and also that we're going to convince people on the quote unquote other side to come over. The GOP doesn't do this. They don't capitulate to us. They don't announce their plans they certainly don't announce their plans to capitulate under any circumstances. It's just bizarre to me, the energy of it all, as if the risks we're asking the politicians to take aren't what are they? You know what I mean? What are they really worried about? What big thing did they do that time that they played it real cool, and then they were bam, big thing, and got done? I want the example.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
And
what reform? What reform are they looking for?
Well,
is it ACA? Was that the last thing they did?
Retroactively apply, a broad brush about it.
Ho, ho, ho. Bunny, you just sound like another tanky Trump apologist who is conniving to get Trump elected into office and demonstrably hurt more people than the Democrats. With that being said, I am looking forward the fuck out of watching the RNC.
Oh, it's got the last RNC was in Cleveland. So they had the logo was an elephant on a guitar because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is there. So I liked the energy of it. It was like Republican National Convention in my mind. So this one is just like, oops, all memes, guys.
I'm ready for fucking Ted Nugent. That is... I'm ready for Diamond
Gun Couple.
Like I find the
what if Gun Couple?
Just be...
Do you think Gun Couple will pose? Do you think the woman will do like the pose, like with her little gun?
I'm ready for the unabashed selling of fascism, like just the My Pillow guy coming up, the every like CEO they could cobble together, the Goya beans guy. It's just going to be just an orgy of corporate fascism just shoving nationalist propaganda down your throat. It's going to be glorious.
It's going to be really cool. It's going to be...
Well, we're a lot more interesting than the DNC.
I mean, the last...
entertainment value.
I just don't care. I just don't fucking care.
I think that's the right response, Marlowe. Because even this is all very silly.
Like even
level.
For the epic walls, like I just don't. I just find it equally joyless. I think it's interesting that they're going in this direction a little bit, but I don't know.
Do you remember the last RNC when Melania gave that speech and there was the Rickroll in the middle of it? Everybody remembers the part where she stole bits from Michelle Obama. But people don't remember the part where she was like, he's never going to give you up. He's never going to let you down.
He will never, ever give up. And most importantly, he will never, ever let you down.
Could we get that?
Yes.
in?
It was awesome.
In the chat.
Great. I did a Melania Trump impression at the time of the 2016 election. Honestly, stupidly thinking, I'll just do this for a few months because this is not real, you know? And then luckily she's not done a goddamn thing really interesting to sort of
excavate her zombie impression.
She just joylessly renovates parts of the White House and like
she hid that one time. She was hiding in that. Yeah, that was cool. I was imagining like a Rambo Melania.
Well, I also think
get on the ground. Get on the ground.
I also think Melania didn't sign up for this. Not that she's like
feminist
not
icon.
That I like feel sorry for her, but I'm like she signed up for.
No, she is a feminist.
I mean,
icon.
even regardless of that, is she signed up to be a rich dipshit's wife. She did not sign up to be the first lady of the United States.
Holy shit, I just saw an article. Americans recoil in horror after Melania rips trees planted by JFK out of White House Rose Garden.
Cool.
Fucking awesome. Like maybe
are you the fucking elves from the Middle Earth?
Only one of these presidents had their brain accidentally implode.
I mean, explode, but yeah.
No, I'm saying that there was a bomb planted in his head that imploded it, and that he wasn't actually.
No, it's that he pulled his back out trying to pinch someone's ass, and that's why he couldn't. He was so stiff.
Are we talking about Kennedy or?
Yes.
I believe that is
funny mood
that
tonight.
is, I believe, an actual thing people think. Somebody tells a story about Kennedy throwing his back out, trying to hit on some lady.
Yeah.
And that's why he couldn't duck.
I forget who. Someone said it on.
Guys, imagine if Kennedy just ducked.
Yeah. Someone said it on Twitter, but if Kennedy wasn't like extremely wealthy, we would all just think he talks like a fucking idiot.
Somebody also said it on Twitter that people hadn't seen an Irish 6 before, so I think that's an accurate representation.
Yeah,
because there's a sliding scale of attractive points for different white people, you know.
Yeah, and Irish, you got a grade on a Sarah Palin.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta like.
Did anybody see Sarah Palin peek her head out?
Did.
Speaking
she
of
said
like
Kamala Harris,
peeked her head out.
Sarah Palin said she would have never prostituted herself like Kamala Harris has done for the vice president. Not.
This is the perfect Pinko Kami slut story. It's just.
Oh yeah, I miss Sarah Palin. Yeah.
Please do more, Sarah. I want a Sarah and Melania conversation. Just bunny one act play.
Just talking about how they clip in hair extensions. That's right. They clip it in, guys. I know Sarah Palin does. She clips in her hair extensions. Oh man. The worst part about Sarah Palin for me is even I think she's hot.
Oh yeah, no, she's fine.
Oh, damn.
Like I just like I love looking at you, lady. I do.
Absolutely.
My favorite is her furry rapping.
What?
Yes.
I think that.
Oh, that was good. Oh god.
That was so good. She killed it too.
What? What are you people talking about?
Okay, she was on that dumb fucking show where somebody dresses up in like a furry outfit and
The
then
Masked Singer.
The Masked Singer. Yeah, the Masked Singer, and
I have
then
no idea what any of you are talking about, but okay, go on.
And then somebody,
humble
and then,
fucking brag, Marlowe.
I watch enough America's Got Talent to like fucking. I watch my bullshit, but like.
All right. Masked Singer is celebrity singing in furry outfits, and then somebody has to guess which the celebrity is after a couple
performances.
Performances and some hints. And one of them ended up being Sarah Palin doing Baby Got Back and fucking killing it.
He's wearing. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh baby, wanna get with ya and take your picture. My homegirl tried to warn me, but you got me so. Ooh, ruffle smooth skin. You say you're gonna get my bins? Use me, cause he ain't that average groupie. I see him dancing.
Mic drop.
And it just makes me feel like that time I did too many mushrooms in 2006. Did I somehow create...
No, because you didn't know who Sarah Palin was in 2006.
I feel like the timelines have all crossed over at this point. They're all...
We're in Looper universe.
Yeah.
I saw Looper yesterday.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's a delightful film.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
That new Netflix or Hulu movie, Palm Springs, is a time loop movie, and it's a comedy. I liked it.
Yeah.
Isn't that with that actor that I don't like?
Adam Sandberg.
Andy Sandberg.
Yeah.
Adam Sandberg. Andy Sandberg.
Well, that's
the
fucking whitest kids joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sandy Amberg. Adam Sandler. Sandy Sandler. Yeah.
Wait, someone suggested to you, Marlowe, that if you do ever end up watching Hamilton, to just imagine they're saying Adam Sandler Hamilton instead of Alexander.
You listen to T.I.'s, what's that fucking song? Matt played the song. But there's that line where he goes, I want your body, but it sounds like I want Joe Biden.
I want your body, need your body. 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 I want your body, need your body.
And I've been singing those lyrics to that song ever since it came out.
And that's like you're doing your little part to speak it into being.
Mm-hmm.
we're giving Matt so much work to do.
Yeah, Matt, look up the song by
Sarah Palin.
This is like when
whatever you like. That's the name of the song.
This is like when a regular show does a musical episode for no goddamn good reason. It's like Grey's Anatomy.
All right, I want to hear more about.
Suddenly, they're singing about it.
You know, I want to hear more about this Pope conspiracy because that seems to also.
Well, I mean, no, the real
conspiracy.
That's right.
Joe Biden's Catholic. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why I've been calling it a popish plot.
I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, anyway, I'm still going off he killed his family, but...
The papal plot.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's bring back some old school racism and keep Biden out of office.
That's what I say. That's kind of the nicest thing I could do for Biden right now is first distract the racists with some good old white on white racism and then give Biden what he desires the most.
Yeah, return to the 1960s where we think that he's going to take orders from the Pope.
Yeah, and then but then he can also play a victim of this horrific anti-Catholic sentiment.
You know, I know I've mentioned this before, but if we stopped people who don't drink from running for president, that would have knocked out so many shitty fucking candidates. Would have knocked out Romney, would have knocked out George W. Bush, would have knocked out Donald Trump, would have knocked out Joe Biden. Those are the four I can just think of. See, I think the KKK really lost their step when they started inviting. Yeah, Catholics. No, it's like not.
Oh yeah.
The KKK had a reputation on defending America from JFK mostly, but
they did not like papists.
They did not. I mean, how can you? I mean, they are worshiping a false idol. And they're disloyal to America because they take orders from a king in Rome. Who talks to God, supposedly. Takes orders from a king in Rome. Yeah, no, I forget what it was, but back in the day we had that
not just any king, but one that wears fucking fancy dresses and hats.
Yeah, we had that whole someone sued the American government because they argued essentially that recognizing the ambassador from the Vatican violated the Church and State Establishment Clause. Yeah, and it was this total just he hated Catholics, and we need to really get that energy back.
What are some anti-Catholic slurs? Is there any
papist, popery?
I know, popery.
I don't know.
Like a Romanite.
I'm sure the English have more.
Wait, I'm gonna look some up. Mackerel snapper came up. What is that? Yeah, it was once a sectarian slur for Catholics, originating in the U.S. in the 1850s. I'm going to make a calendar.
They ate fish on Fridays?
Let me see. Yes, that's exactly why.
Awesome.
Okay.
You guys, I'm going to make a slur-a-day calendar, but it's all going to be white on white racist slurs.
Ooh, I got one. I got one I just made up.
Hell yeah, what is it?
Raw dogger. I thought that was pretty good myself.
Every sperm is sacred, baby.
Every sperm is precious, I believe.
No, every sperm is sacred.
Okay, well, whatever. We'll solve that issue. You know how? Matt, put that song in.
Every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is good. Every sperm is
Okay, I looked up anti-Catholic slurs. Creeping Jesus is pretty good.
That's a good one.
To relate to yours, mackerel snapper, which I think is something that the Led Zeppelin thing, they engaged with a groupie with a mackerel snapper in the 70s.
Is that a euphemism for her hoo-ha?
No,
no. The story behind this is that they invited groupies back home, and that the manager and one of the members of the band was fishing, and they caught some snappers.
Was it
the snappers?
Sand shark?
No. It was snappers, and the joke was that they put a snapper in her snapper.
But the snapper, really, a vagina snapper should be a snapping turtle, I think. If you ask me.
No, I think it's just it's gonna be a guillotine. That's
I like it.
You got to do some kegels to get it.
Yeah, like your kegels will work the guillotine, and like that's the future liberals want.
Your Hegels will work the guillotine. Okay, here's another one. The Fenian.
Ooh.
I don't know what that is. And the Whore of Babylon.
Well, that's for the church generally.
It's still an anti-Catholic slur. You could just yell that at somebody.
Yeah, but I mean that's just
Jill Biden, for instance. Hey, Whore of Babylon. Get out of that.
See
Get out of that school. Please step away from the children.
I only think it's cool if we call Joe a whore. Personally.
No. That's too Nicodemite.
Ooh, what's a Nicodemite? That sounds like a real old-timey one.
Yeah,
is a person suspected of publicly misrepresenting their religious faith to conceal their true belief.
Ooh, John Calvin introduced this term. We love him here in these United States.
Him. He's the best. Really? You fucking Nicodemite. That is the perfect.
Fuck you, Joe Biden. You fucking Nicodemite. I love it.
Stop telling me that you want to, I don't know, have better race relations. I know you're Nicodemite
you're
soul.
Nicodemian. I wish people were but then you'd think if Joe Biden could really summon the power of Catholics in a unified way, he'd have Latinos, right?
Yeah.
But weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. God is dead and continues to be dead, and all these like side thoughts of like
side quests.
Well, every time anyone's like wants to judge some like socioeconomic ethnic group by what they perceive their religion to be, 90% of the time in 2020 the answer is they don't actually give a fuck. That was like the thing like with Trump in 2016 of like, oh well, the evangelicals won't stand for this. Yeah, of course they will. No one cares. No one's actually Catholic anymore. No one gives a shit.
All right. One article is called "Why Are Catholics Called Left-Footers?"
Oh.
It's a question that I've been pondering just now.
Tell us.
How long of an article?
Speed read that.
On last night's episodes of Downton Abbey, we heard the unfamiliar Catholic slur "left-footer."
Left-footer? Was it like that?
Series creator Julian Fellows, himself an occasional target of anti-Catholicism, has really outdone himself this time. Mackerel snapper, sure. Wait, what?
Yeah,
but left-footer.
Oh, I guess everybody knows about fucking mackerel snapper.
In England,
excuse me.
there's still anti-Catholic discrimination. It's, obviously it's related to sectarian violence in Ireland, but yeah, no, they still, that's a thing you can get in trouble for, like, if you're a landlord.
Okay, so the origins of the term goes back to Protestants distinguishing themselves from Catholics, saying he digs with the wrong foot. It was the traditional distinction between left and right-handed spades in Irish agriculture. Please bleep that out.
Wait, they
don't want to be accused.
Am I imagining the right tool to think?
Yeah, no, this
what
is
it needs
leading to more questions than answers.
Most types of digging spade, again, bleep it out, in Britain and Ireland have
Irish out.
Please, actually, just bleep
Irish out.
In Britain.
Leave one Irish in so people know what we're bleeping out.
In Britain and Ireland,
we'll just call them people of the Emerald Isle. I don't know.
I'm trying to get through this. Most types of digging spade in Britain and Ireland have footrests at the top of their blades. Two-sided spades have footrests on each side of the shaft and socket, while an older style of one-sided spade had only one. Two-sided spades may well have been introduced by the Protestant planters in the 16th century. By the early 19th century, specialized spade and shovel mills in the north of Ireland were producing vast numbers of two-sided spades, which came to be universally used.
Your spade has two sides.
In Ulster and strongly identified with the province, one-sided spades with narrow blades and a footrest cut out of the side of the relatively larger wooden shaft continued in the use in the south and west. And the rural population of Gaelic Ireland retained the Catholic faith, intended also to retain the one-sided spade and dig with the wrong foot. In fact, the two-sided spade of Ulster was generally used with the left foot, whereas the one-sided spade tended to be used with the right foot.
So it's also incorrect?
Yeah, I say it was the correct foot.
The entire origin story is also based on something that wasn't true.
Which is amazing.
Oh my God.
So many origin stories.
And they finish this article with, and so we lay another anti-Catholic charge to rest. Catholics do not worship Mary, do not profess work righteousness, do not profess works righteousness, and above all, do not do.
That's actually just the point of theology.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say there's not enough good anti-Protestant slurs out there.
But we're talking about Joe fucking
I know,
Biden
but
here.
I'm just saying this is making me realize.
Footer.
Gee. Oh, man.
Joe Biden, the left footer.
That fucking left footer.
Joe left footer Biden.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the one spot where they might have developed like anti-Protestant slurs would have been France, and they just murdered all of them instead.
In the spirit of Robespierre.
Yeah, I mean, like, where in a Catholic-dominated area did you have a extant sizable minority of Protestants?
Is Joe Biden Irish?
Yeah, the Catholic side is an Irish Catholic side.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yes. Irish.
His niece is like a waitress in Ocean City, actually.
Yeah, because his father was from Baltimore.
Yeah, it's all mid-Atlantic shit. Like, yeah.
That's right. It's all mid-Atlantic. You shellfish and get lead paint poisoning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the Bidens. Work at the boardwalk.
Yeah, work at the boardwalk. Get up on the lifeguard station, fretting some people sometimes. Oh man, did any of you even watch Joe Biden's speech?
I didn't watch any of it.
I watched some of it. Yeah, I watched some of Hunter Biden's, and I also watched the tribute to Beau Biden, which brings me to my point that the entire thing was just one long funeral, and it wasn't actually a convention. It was just a funeral, and that we're going to have a eulogizer in chief. That left footer is going to be the eulogizer in chief.
That left footer is going to be the eulogizer in chief. You know, I don't know.
Build Back Better is so awkward.
What is?
Build Back Better.
What? Build Back Better? The Better Than Stronger Together?
Better than, stronger than before.
Like, it's just such an awkward phrasing.
Well, it does remind me of a Selena Meyer thing.
It's just incredible. New Selena. Oh, it's perfect.
I don't really get it, actually.
Yeah, no, it's a very Selena Meyer.
The Julia Louis-Dreyfus also showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Not in character, which is a disappointment.
Yeah, I watched absolutely none of the convention.
I watched a little of Kamala's speech.
I heard she was horribly anti, like, any type of gravitas or charisma.
I don't know. I mostly it was a lot of South Asian people I know just being excited that someone used like the Tamil word for auntie.
Matt, please bleep out South Asian. Also where I said it there, because it's the equivalent of the N-word.
Oh gosh, it's because you've been on Hindu Twitter.
Yeah, no, I love Hindu.
I know we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I love Hindu nationalist Twitter. It's like the funnest part of Twitter. I mean, they have consistently the best takes. Like, I still will never get over the Hagia Sophia was originally a Hindu temple.
I was just gonna say.
That's the funniest fucking thing. Yeah, no, Hindu Twitter rules. Everyone should go on it. AKA Cow Piss Twitter. Yeah, it's cool as shit. They like hate Muslims.
That's one thing we love on this show is specific hostile corners of Twitter that are centered around ethnic rivalries.
Like, oh my god, they like they just have this like insane. It's almost like a Russian new chronology, but like Indian, and they're just it's insane the things they say. Yeah, like South Asian is actually the equivalent of the N-word. Why not? Yeah, absolutely. Go with that. Do that. Shoot that right into my veins. No, it's a really fun place to hang out on. Yeah, anyway, yeah, so actually don't bleep out South Asian because then this whole thing will just be confusing. And we should, like, actually, and Matt, I know you kind of edit in real time, so, you know, just keep this in mind for when you did that. My bad. But, yeah.
It's
don't really bleep out any of the things we said to bleep out, and sorry if you already did at this point.
Yeah, unbleep them.
Yeah. I'll from now on say no, actually bleep this out when I mean it. Unless I say that and that's also sarcastic. So
and then at that point you just take your revenge and do whatever you want.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Make me say
oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy.
N-word gay Robinson. Bringing back that character. Yeah. And N-word gay Robinson.
Oh, yes. Nathan. Don't actually bleep out Nathan. But anyway.
Well, you guys, it's, 72 days to the election.
We're marching in that direction like like a funeral march. Really, the convention.
Oh, sure. My mom's reading Liz Marinik.
Aw, so cute. She's Catholic.
She is the left's resident tradcath.
Mm-hmm. I like her though.
Yeah, no, she's cool.
If the convention was the start of the funeral procession of liberalism, we're going to reach the end. The Beau Biden really cemented the mourning process that everyone was going through.
Even like with reading Patriarch lately, is this what this is?
Yeah, no, it definitely has been.
Well, I predict before these 72 days are over, we're going to have like 2 natural disasters, a really fucking rock and roll RNC that'll have absolutely no impact on anything. It'll be like, it happened, it's done, it disappeared. And then, as I've long predicted, audience, Trump will have his freak accident. All before November 3rd? Yeah, November 3rd.
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to die because he's got too good of genes.
Joe Biden, Princess Diana, his family. I just want to make that a thing. I stuck it in the Q group. I got nothing.
Why don't you just say that, okay, what if it was the Catholic Church that...
Yeah, no. If I actually want to start this rumor, and believe me, I do. I want to start a far-right conspiracy theory that Joe Biden, Princess died, his first wife, and whatever kid died in that one, and then, like, poloniumed Beau. I want to make that a thing. And if I'm to do that, I can't really, as a bit, pull in the Catholic Church, because that shit doesn't fly in American conspiracy theories anymore. So, no, I need to keep those separate.
Or just write, like, Da Vinci Code-esque.
Damn it. Am I going to have to, like, learn how 4chan works? Like, because I don't want to do that. Or Reddit or something. Is that where I go for this? Where do I go?
8chan.
Oh,
you start a Discord server.
Yeah, no, I need to go to 8chan. Fuck.
You start.
You need to lay some groundwork so that when people try to check your facts, they're like, "Oh my God, it's all been here. It always has been."
Yeah, it always has been that his family died in a car crash, so, like, we can use that. Like, he did it to launch his political career or something. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I guess I would... Like, I was never, like, on something awful back when something awful was a thing. So, like, yeah, I'm actually not really big on forums and that bullshit. If any of our listeners have suggestions, call me up. You probably have my number because there's like 8 of you. But I really want to like make this a fucking thing. My project between now and the election, and if God forbid Biden wins, my project for the next 4 years will be to build a sizable contingent of people who believe that Joe Biden, Princess Diana, his family back in the 70s, 60s or 70s, whatever the fucking accident was, and further that he then used polonium to give Beau Biden the brain disease.
I was just going to say they got to give him. Well,
I can tell you how.
If we can make this happen before the election.
Well,
excellent.
You know what I think the smart move is to tie it into a pre-existing weird thing, which I would say let's go with the
Podesta emails, whatever. Like maybe like pizza.
Podesta emails boring. No, let's go with Barron is a time traveler. Are you familiar with this?
No, that's stupid. No,
there is a novel from the 1800s that is about a Baron Trump who comes from the future and is kind of a rich kid.
Yeah, okay, but like that's a different level of suspension of disbelief.
The time-traveling Baron Trump has convinced Joe Biden to kill his own family for political reasons.
That is
Marlowe. Just use just it's easy. Just use the Book of Revelation. Like intersplice some lines about the horrors of Babylon to make it very clear.
You guys are like going on these different like levels. Okay, no, that comes.
Be not afraid, Marlowe. Look at all my eyeballs.
This all comes after the initial. The initial conspiracy needs to start from a place where we don't need to assume fantastical things about God or technology or whatever. No, Princess died as family because that's happened. Later on, it will then get lobbed on to other shit and we'll have fucking ancient aliens and like pyramids and all that bullshit.
Which is Baron Trump, the time traveler, is actually also responsible for Princess Diana. Thank you.
100% that can happen later. We need to start the initial thing now. Vanilla. You need to launch it vanilla. You can get those add-ons as it comes.
Have the quotes ready is what we're saying.
Yeah. That happens
Revelation
organically though. Yeah.
I think you might need to like push this along.
Right. No, yes, and it needs to be pushed along through QAnon, Pizzagate, that kind of shit, where it's like, QAnon, like, and Pizzagate, that didn't start with, like, oh, actually they're, like, literally the devil and, like, eating adrenochrome. That started with the premise that, like, oh, some adults like to fuck kids, which is true. And then later on, you get into, oh, maybe it's like a whole thing where they're like, cutting little boys' dicks off and throwing it into the middle of a pentagram or whatever the fuck.
No, it's cutting babies' heads off and nailing them to the wall.
Sure, fine. But, like, it started with, like, the, like, actual existence of pedophiles, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Not
even just the actual existence of pedophiles, but there is precedent for actual people testifying to being involved in something very similar to what QAnon people describe, but they weirdly ignore the Franklin Mint story, which is a story of a guy who ran a credit union in the Midwest.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yeah, and there were actual people who were put in jail for contempt of court who testified to themselves being sex trafficked as children, but were weirdly put in jail. So, like, this is a thing that actually, like, there is some evidentiary things about, but the whole QAnon people ignore that entirely.
I Googled Franklin Mint at one point because, like, Matt Christman told me to, and then I got bored and stopped.
Well, look, the guy who was the head of that is literally a fucking car salesman in Northern Virginia right fucking now. So, like, all these weird, like, going to the pizza restaurant and whatever, I'm like, this information is, like, if I don't even think these people are that give a shit about pedophile rings that much, is my suspicion. Because if you Google it anywhere off the main beaten path, you would find information about this thing that has a lot more fucking real
in earlier
things tied to
I would say socialism with fools, but now I'm going to say betokens a retarded culture. Anyway. Read Engels, baby.
A direct Engels quote.
But don't be Vaush.
Yeah.
Vooch. Vish.
Well, anyway, I highly recommend you look into the Baron Trump book. It's really weird.
Why would you, like, if you're making up your own name, just throw a diphthong right in the fucking middle of it, you goddamn weirdo?
Yeah, diphthongs are awesome, though.
Yeah, if you want to not be able to sing opera correctly.
Exactly. You fuck up the opera singers that are going to sing your name. Who's going to sing your name out? Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun.
I guess we're done. We let a lot of promises hang in the air last week. I think I've thought about it, and I am willing to just mostly watch the Left Behind series.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I didn't know there was a reboot with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that one's kind of...
Which I heard it was so-so, but...
Yeah, no, the original Camerons are where it's at. Nick Cage...
I'm a long Kirk Cameron, perverse, a voyeur. Not a fan, but,
the Nick Cage movie
a hater.
Might be good if it was actually the first part of, a 4 to 12-part series. But as you're watching that movie, you're going to yourself, there's no way they're making a second one. Yeah.
Nick Cage got into some money troubles. We'll do seemingly any movie now.
That's been... I remember 10 years ago when that was also still a joke.
Also still true.
And
you know what
continued.
Nicolas Cage movie I like? Snake Eyes.
I mean...
I don't know why, but I super
like
that movie.
There are 4 good Nick Cage movies.
Wicker Man?
No.
Okay.
I mean...
Oh, we already know it's not going to be a fun list.
It's going to be Adaptation, Moonstruck, Leaving Las Vegas, and Raising Arizona.
What about It Could Happen to You?
I don't know what that one is.
It's a decent
Con Air.
rom-com.
Yeah, okay. So there's the 4 good Nick Cage movies. Then there's this tier 2, which would be Con Air, Face Off, and all the The Rock, the really fun ones.
Con Air is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Steve Buscemi is
Steve Buscemi's great in it. Dave Chappelle is in it. It's a movie.
I still It Could Happen to You. It's when he wins the lottery and he promised that waitress he was going to split it with her because he couldn't tip her. And he's married to Rosie Perez, who's a real biatch. I'll pretty much watch anything with Rosie Perez.
Yeah, no, if it got Rosie Perez in it, I might actually have to see that.
Yeah. It is. It's actually, I do legitimately recommend it.
I recently saw Colors Out of Space. Wait, we mentioned that before in the podcast. It's the Nick Cage with, I don't know, the racist one.
Lovecraft, who I am a big fan of, but it inspired the joke, the only racist I like is the dead racist, because many historical figures I admire had very troubling views on race. But H.P. Lovecraft, full-on, stupid scientific racist.
Okay, let's end this episode by me going, the name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat is, and then just a long bleep.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. I do like that he wrote about a monster out in Red Hook.
Yeah.
I think about it anytime I'm at that IKEA.
Yep. Anyway,
we're done. We're done here. Vote for Biden, guys.
We're done with Catholics. Those left-footers.
Support the left foot conspiracy.
Mackerel snappers.
Fucking mackerel snappers.
Biden's princess died his family. Anyway.
We'll see you next week.
The name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat is...
It's racist, is what it is.
Well, no, then they bleep. That's the point.
We know. I think we're getting a little cavalier with our bleeps, though.
Yeah, I do too, Matt. That's the only actual bleep I wanted. No other bleeps in this episode.
The bleep button was broken up until now.
Right.
Man, Nick Mullen is crazy with the bleep.
Yeah, it's a great button. But anyway.
It's a good button.
Bye.
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 The name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat is...